Hello and welcome to Tiger Tutorials. Today I'm going to be going over how to define CSS selectors. CSS is in meaning external style sheets, which then implement different styles and pages. So this is my website, tigertutorials.com. You can visit this website for full textual tutorials. But today I'm going to be showing you a video tutorial. So open up your HTML editor. In this case I have Dreamweaver. And I just have a basic page right here. I've already implemented my external style sheet. This is another lesson that I have posted. Okay, so as far as testing your abilities to do CSS selecting, I've created some code here that I'm just going to copy and paste real quick. Okay, so this is the code here, and basically what it is doing is it creates a division. Within the division you have different headers, and then one header has a class, and this is just a basic link structure, so you can see exactly what happens. And then for further implementation as far as pseudo classes, I'm going to be embedding a link, so let me just put that in here real quick. Alright, so now we have our link there. I would have typed this out, but this is a CSS selecting tutorial. So we do have target blank. It'll open up in a different page. We have the reference here, and then we have the Tiger Tutorials. That's the HTML part, and that's probably the only part that we're going to go over today. And then the second part today is going to be doing the main CSS. So we have our main CSS file. Declare whatever you want to do up there. And we are going to be changing our testing HTML to what we want it to look like. So what I'm going to be doing first is I'm going to be creating, since we made a division ID here, IDs are always noted by a pound symbol, and then classes are always noted by a period. So when you see a pound symbol or a period, that means that it's either an ID or a class. So we list and then H1, and I'm going to get blue. Alright, so let's just go through what this is doing. So it's finding the list ID, which is denoted by the pound symbol, as it is here. And then within the list division, right, it is finding any H1 tag here. So it just found all the H1 tags, and it's producing this output. Now if we wanted to be more specific in what we wanted it to do, we could do list.heading, and I'm going to be putting some fancy CSS in here. Text decoration, a bit of a line. Alright, so what this is doing is it's taking the class heading and it's applying its style to it. So the list is the division, as denoted by the pound symbol, and the heading is a class within one of the H1s, as denoted by the period, and it creates this output. The next thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be changing the link. And for the link, we're going to be using a pseudo class, as on the website here. I have all the different pseudo classes: link, hover, focus, visited, active, and there are different pseudo classes for link structure, made for unordered list structures, but I'm not going to be going over that today. You can search it on Google. So what I'm going to be doing is the hover and the visited link pseudo classes. So go back to Dreamweaver. And within Dreamweaver, you're going to open up your main CSS, and from here you're going to be using the A, hover, color. You can make this whatever you want. So that's just going to show let me test this. Alright, so when I'm here and I hover over, it's red. So that's just what the hover pseudo class does. If I go back to my main CSS and I open up A, visited, and changes to color, blue, text decoration, through. So what this is going to do is if I already visited the link, it's going to turn it blue and it's going to put a line through it. So you won't see any immediate effect on here because it's not testing it in the Firefox. But when I do go to Firefox, I did test this before I did the tutorial, so it is showing that I did go there, and it does produce the same output, and it does do everything. And this is good for when you're making tabs, like if someone's on the tab or they visited a tab, you can indicate where they've been, what they've done through the pseudo classes. As far as the pseudo class link structure or referring, A is the tag that denotes a link right here, and then hover is the pseudo class, and a pseudo class is always denoted by a semicolon. And from that semicolon, visited and the hover links can be applied. Now if we had two different links here, let me just copy this one if I can get it. Alright, there we go. We can make this a class. We can name this name, or whatever you want to name it. I have no idea what's going on. There we go. So then we can just put name, and we do H, hover, and then we can change this color, make it green. So we go back here, we have a second one there, preview in Firefox, yes, yes. And so the changes happen, but like I said, I did link to the page, so you won't see an immediate effect, but it will work. And then another thing I want to go over with you guys today is the preferences of how you apply your CSS. So say I have a division here, and I wanted to change just one of these. I would have a class heading, but I have all these different classes, and it does get a little confusing, and the basic link structure for the CSS does get harder. I can actually apply a more in-depth link to it, and I have made a graphic for this. So first of all, your HTML page has always start off with the HTML, right? And then your body of the page is right here, and then you're gonna have your division right here, and then the PH one, they don't have to be in divisions, but divisions are kind of like tags, and I kind of thought divisions would be in higher order. And then within the tags here and in the divisions, you are going to come across classes and IDs, and from the classes and IDs, you then put them inside your CSS, and it does identify exactly what you want to change. So what you can do is you can go from the exact beginning, HTML, body, header, UL, LI, home, and that will apply the same effect as a smaller one will. But this is a tedious process, but it will, it'll actually select this under any circumstance. If you still call LI home, if you put HTML, body, header, UL, that will have higher preference over just LI home. So that is something that you can use, and that's a good constriction. So to implement something like this, we could just go back into our main CSS, go like HTML, body, and we have the division, yeah, so that'll work. Go to preview in Firefox. So everything made an effect. So that is how the pseudo classes and the graphics do relate. I will have this available on my website for further review. Please subscribe to my channel, and please do visit tigertutorials.com, as there are full textual links and all the code used in this tutorial will be available here. You can also navigate amongst all the other different Dreamweaver pages concerning CSS sheets and other different useful and helpful information. Thank you, and please subscribe.